All right, joining us now to discuss in reaction here is Wisconsin Congressman Scott Fitzgerald. Congressman, thank you so much for coming on. Again, breaking news here, the U.S. economy officially in a recession. Two consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, shrinking by 0.9% in the second quarter, 1.6% it shrank in Q1. Talk to me about this and the messaging, again, from the White House, trying to paint a better picture of this, trying to get out ahead of it, all but redefining recession. How do you clean this up from a White House perspective?
Well, you could see that, what they were trying to do is avoid kind of the discussion that's already ensued in Congress, which is we anticipated this, we find ourselves in a recession. So if you're a member of Congress, you don't have the luxury of simply sitting back and spinning this, that, once again, the economy has constricted, and we're going to pretend that it didn't really happen by redefining it. So, not only my colleagues that I talk to on the Republican side, but Democrats are very concerned because the next round of figures are going to come out right before that November election cycle. So you can see that, we don't have the luxury of just pretending that this new definition that they continue to spin is actually going to be real. It's not, and we all know that 2 quarters means you're in a recession.
And you serve on the House Small Business Committee. What impact is this going to have when talking about gross domestic product?
Oh, we've been hearing from small businesses really across the nation as we've had hearings and markups on individual bills that they have been feeling this already for the last 90 days, if not sooner. And, they have to react. Again, this is real life versus White House spin. And the president can have, press conference after press conference from his basement and tell people that, in fact, don't worry, there's other parts of the economy that are strong enough. But the fact of the matter is, and even with the Fed, what a disappointment that even the Fed is doing its own version of spin when it comes to, what anybody that's had economics 101 would understand is that is absolutely the definition of a recession. And it was unfortunate that Director Powell didn't admit that yesterday.
There's a parallel story that's also happening aside from the announcement of a recession or the GDP shrinking. This, Manchin's latest shocker, is $700 billion deal. We'll show it on your screen from Politico. Schumer, Manchin finally got into an agreement here, money for climate change, clean energy, bringing health care costs down, taxing those who make $400,000 or more, corporate taxes as well. Manchin has been against a major portion of this bill, if not the entire thing, for some time. There was a pivot. He's agreed at this time. But when you put the agreement next to a recession, next to inflation, how do you explain to the American people that government spending is what is needed at this moment?
Well, unfortunately, it looks like Senator Manchin kind of threw in the towel. I'm not sure what got him to that point, but let's be honest, this is just another version of Build Back Better. And it is absolutely going to once again fuel the idea that inflation cannot be checked if you keep dumping cash into the economy, government printed cash. And that's exactly what this is going to result in. So, I'm disappointed, but at the end of the day, Joe Manchin's a Democrat. He's got a D behind his name. And although, he's been a frustrating figure for the Democrats, somehow they got to him, and it's a bad deal for America.
It would be a question for him, but do you have any indication of how he would swing that vote? Did something happen that many did not know about? It doesn't seem that much has changed. He wasn't for money for climate right now or clean energy at this moment. Also, he represents West Virginia, which is a major producer of fossil fuels in his state. You can imagine his constituents may not be so happy with his decision. What have you heard in the background? Plus, Kyrsten Sinema, I want to bring that senator in this as well. Will she be a swing vote?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that's disappointing is the parameters that the senator set for himself, which was to wait until this morning to see what the inflationary figures would look like
Right.
and whether or not the economy was in a recession, was kind of his own benchmark. And for some reason, they arrived at a deal even before that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee. I guess Senator Sinema has been pretty tight-lipped on this whole adventure that the Democrats have been on now for the last couple of weeks. But once again, I think it just underscores the idea that the sooner we can get control in the House, and very hopeful that my Senator Ron Johnson is reelected and that the U.S. Senate goes Republican in the fall. All of this matters even that much more because we just know at the end of the day that there's a ton of pressure on these moderate Democrats to comply with what the far left wants.
Yeah, would love to know what changed there with Senator Manchin, as his previous statement said that he would not be a yes vote for this, at least not at this time. That has seemed to change. Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, Congressman, thank you.